Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here I have a great article for you guys from Fierce Wireless. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys could check it out. And this is coming out of Mobile World Congress. Great article. I'm glad this came out. Verizon's network team isn't laughing about AT&T's outage, and neither is T-Mobile's. Trust me on this. That is taken very seriously. And neither of the network teams from either company are wishing outages on anyone. And the fact that's important to note here that Verizon's network team isn't laughing about AT&T's outage because they know it can happen to them at any time. Excuse me. The full impact of the outage and cost that AT&T will endure are still unknown. AT&T said it would credit affected customers for the average cost of a full day of service. The outage lasted more than 10 hours for some customers. So, you know, it's out there being quoted at about $5 per account. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if AT&T ever releases the amount of accounts affected, that would give us a much clearer picture as to how much AT&T will actually have to spend just giving each account $5 off credit. It's probably a ton of money. So I just wanted to kind of read off some of the quotes. So in general, we don't wish outages on anybody. Like I mentioned to start off the video, said Verizon's SVP of Network Planning, Adam Copey, on the sidelines of Mobile World Congress. This is never fun. It just isn't. But then here's something interesting too that Joe Russo mentions in this article as well. I just got to find that. Give me a second here. So it says here, we learn from each other, said Joe Russo, EVP and President of Global Networks and Technologies. Once there's a better understanding of exactly what happened, there may be some level of sharing of information. Some of that happens in the supplier/partner community. If there's a vulnerability in the systems or software that they commonly share, they are going to make others aware of it. So if it's a software issue from Ericsson, as an example, just as an example, and they know, okay, if you push this and you do this, it's going to cause this, Ericsson is going to let Verizon know, like, hey, look, AT&T just pushed this and they did this and moved this, and then this happened. So that's what he's talking about here in terms of sharing information. You know, I mean, of course, you know, AT&T's CTO is not going to be calling Verizon CTO. You know, they don't share information like that, at least as far as we know, right? Competitive intelligence information, they don't share that between each other. But information like that does go around from the vendors. Like, hey, look, they pushed this button and they uploaded this, and then boom, it caused an outage. And then Verizon and T-Mobile will be made aware of that from the suppliers and the OEMs themselves, so that doesn't happen again. So that's a good thing. That's when I feel the industry does need to come together when it comes to these types of outages, because you just don't want that to happen to anyone, right? That's why when I see like bashing in the comments, oh, your network is trash because it's outage, I just think that's uncalled for, because you just never know when that can happen. If you're sitting there saying, oh, thank God I had this network today, you know, and I wasn't on AT&T, I mean, you just got lucky. You know, days prior to this AT&T outage, T-Mobile had a calling and texting outage. T-Mobile has had big outages, you know, I think a year or two ago, they had a huge outage where you couldn't even call 911. So it can happen to any network at any time of the day. During a maintenance window, which is usually overnight when there's the least amount of traffic across the network, something could go haywire, and then it runs into the morning and boom, nobody has service. So great article. I'm glad this came out. I'm glad there's the great quotes saying, hey, we know it's not fun. We don't wish this on anybody. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be when it comes to these outages. And like I said in a previous video, the FCC needs to implement a rule that states any network that goes out the next network can pick up those customers while that outage is being fixed. So if Verizon's having an outage, AT&T and T-Mobile need to kick in and say, hey, look, we'll allow your customers on our network while you fix this outage, and vice versa. If T-Mobile's out, Verizon and AT&T pick up the slack. If AT&T's out, T-Mobile and Verizon pick up the slack. That's how it should work, and I think that needs to really be implemented just for outages. I'm not talking about full-time roaming. I'm just talking about if there's a severe national outage, the other networks need to kick in as a backup. It just needs to happen that way, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what the FCC does. We'll see what the investigation, lots of investigations ongoing into AT&T. I think New York's state AG just put an investigation on AT&T, DHS, the FBI. I mean, tons of agencies, I'm sure, are really questioning as to what happened. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you agree here. I think you just can't laugh or bash it as a network engineer, because it can happen to your network as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.